Alright guys, today's video was supposed to be all about belt system, but um, can't get a belt. I had to order one online and then they couldn't find one, so they refunded me my money and after about a week, and then I went to Tractor Supply and they didn't have one. They don't even carry the size for the custom. So I found another spot on eBay that I've found that's got the belt and it's actually just being shipped and is got a tracking number, is on its way. But anyway, this turned out to be my issue in this video. Let's take a look. Alright guys, I'm going to just jump right on in. I'm going to replace this pulley, and behind this bolt I'm going to replace that pulley. So just basically unbolt, put the new one on, bolt it back up. So I'll come back to you as soon as I get them on. Okay guys, I'm going to take us on a bunny trail here. My carburetor was leaking, or it's leaving a drop on the ground. And I've been doing some searching. Everything I see says it's a possibility that it's this bleeder valve. So, and the fix for that was to replace the bowl with one without a bleeder valve. No problem. So I bought a new bowl without the bleeder valve for the carburetor for the HH100. It doesn't even come close to fitting. So, in the process of putting this one back on, because I realized after I had it off, I could see I'm leaking out the bottom of the fuel pump instead. Anyway, I have found that the needle fitting is stripped. So this may be an issue, and I may end up having to replace this whole thing. Hopefully not. I think I got it tight enough in there, and I've got it on a factory default setting for that needle because I tried everything to get it in there. It seems in there now. This bottom connector, the metal piece comes out, or came out of the fuel pump. So I goobered part of it and pressed it back in. So that's where I'm at on this to see if that works. Don't feel anything wet right now, but I do have this shut off turned off up there. So this is residual from leftover. I'm filling around, sorry. I was saying if it was leaking up here by the fuel filter or anything, but it's not. So shut off is off right now, so I'm not entirely certain. I'm not going to turn that on until tomorrow to let the goop I put on that set up. Alright, back to belts. My dry belt was supposed to be in yesterday has yet to ship. I should have just went to Tractor Supply or somewhere to get it, but I did not. This pulley, it's replaced now. The old one was pretty shot. It's got a seized bearing in it. And see if I can do this one-handed. It was just basically riding around on the bolt. But the bolt isn't a normal bolt. The bolt is a press-in. There you go. You can see the ribs now. It's supposed to press into the pulley to be attached with a nut that you access from the panel on the other side of the tractor across the top of the starter. But as you can see, that press-in thing does not work. So it spins on it. But anyway, also, the original pulley does not have a spacer on either side. The spacer is built into the arm. So the replacement pulley you get, I have to put the spacer side out so the pulley stays in alignment, and I put a new bolt and nut through there. I like this a lot better. All right, off to the next one. This pulley, it's underneath, just a flat idler. Turns out it's good pulley. Doesn't grind, isn't rough. It's great. I left it in there. The replacement pulley, I don't know if I got the right one because it's supposed to be 3 inches, and this looks like 3.5. That pulley, it's on the in there, right there, is definitely 3 inches. Which basically, take this pulley. The outer edge of this pulley is about the same as the internal of the other pulley. So it's about a 1/2 inch bigger, which isn't really an issue. I could use it. I thought, you could always punch out the spacer, but I have found that the new pulleys, the old spacers, does not work on them. But anyway, I've got this if I need it. I will have to change that bolt because that's a 1/2 inch bolt. That's a 3/8 hole. So, issues there. So all I got left is the belt. Like I said, that pulley turned out to be good and smooth. New pulley there's on. It's something else. Now I know why a lot of people don't fully restore these old tractors to original. If they don't have to, they put some mods here and there, and these are little things that people have to mod. So, crossing our fingers on that carburetor. When we come back, we'll replace this pulley, or not pulley, but the belt, and we'll take it for a drive. Okay, updates. As you can see, I still do not have a belt on this. I got an email this morning that said they're having trouble shipping my belt, so they were canceling the order and refunding my money. So, something that's supposed to be in here in about 2 days. It's been a little over a week now, and so no belt. I'll go ahead and go to Tractor Supply and get a new belt for that. I might as well get a deck belt while I'm at it, because I do plan on getting the deck going. Also, came out this morning, I turned on this valve and see if this leaked after messing with it the other day. I turned it on, my fingers got a little bit wet with gas. I turned around, walked over here to sit down for a second. I looked back, this was this morning, and there was a puddle already this big on the ground. I'm like, oh crud. I shut the valve off again. I didn't realize I had that much gas in there. This valve, the O-ring disintegrated on it. Thankfully, it was as easy to rebuild with a new O-ring like the wheel horse was. So it's real easy. It opens up. My hands are dry now. Fix that. I am not feeling comfortable with this carburetor. As I mentioned before, that center fitting that holds the bowl on is stripped out. Most of the threads. It's hanging on literally by 2 threads, maybe, if that. So I did some thinking, and I have decided to change out the carburetor. I could either go put another Tecumseh carburetor on it, which is anywhere in the ballpark of $70 to $200, or I could put a Kohler K series carburetor on it, which is known to be a almost direct swap out, and they're anywhere between $20 and $50. I think I'm going to put the Kohler carb on it. To do so, I need to put a fuel pump, and I can get one of those for another $15. So, combination of Oh, it's already leaking. Look at that. It's drip, drip, drip. Yep. Right there, where the stripped out threads are. Well, now I'm glad I got the carburetor. So let's shut that back off because we'll have a puddle before we know it. So, putting a K-series carb on there pretty much direct bolts up. Even the little horn for the air breather even bolts to it the other side. It's been documented that that works. Like I said, I'll need a Briggs style fuel pump. That's not an issue. I can mount it just below the tag plate and not get in the flywheel. And we'll go for that. Probably a better setup anyway. So I will be redoing the fuel system as soon as all that comes in. Maybe I'll lump that with putting the belt on. All right, guys. I had some issues while I'm waiting on the belt. Yep, there's the carburetor on the ground there. That is a Kohler K series carburetor. And it worked great right out of the box. I got the idea from Taryl Fixes All. But all I had to do was right here on this bolt hole was the mount for the choke, because it had the little arrow as you see on this. Right there. But the choke is now on the side right here. So all I had to do was take that mount, move it to this bolt hole, and that works great too. So it's a nice thing about some of these old engines, they're designed to go either way. But throttle's good. I just got that dialed in. I had to put a pulse pump, a different pulse pump on it. Easily mounts right there. Doesn't get in the way. But this little snake of pipes works out pretty well. I did have to take this apart, put a new O-ring in there. It's working great now, not leaking. And now I have no pool of gasoline under the tractor. Let's fire it up and I'll show you how it runs. All right, let's put the jumper pack on it because this battery is dead. But here we go. There you go. All right, guys, wrapping this up. Was able to bolt the air horn on, or for the air filter, and the air filter that comes with that carburetor I bought was the right size air filter for the custom. So just got to button it back up, putting the grill back on. I got one bolt in. I got to put this one in and put the hood on.